Welcome, everyone. I'm the BINBUSTER, and happy Easter and happy Passover to all my Jewish friends, and happy holidays to those of you that don't celebrate Easter in the traditional sense. Today, I'm coming to you with my top 5. Yes, I'm going to make this video short and sweet. My top 5 biblical Easter films. And I know I take that purposely as biblical Easter films. The reason why, these are films that most people don't think of when they think of Easter. Or most films that people don't talk about when they talk about Easter movies. So my number 5 is an animated movie. It's a kids movie. It's also a musical. Very good one at that. Yeah, it's also very much so the only animated movie Val Kilmer has ever done. Yeah, believe it or not. I'm talking about Prince of Egypt. It's a story of the Hebrews and how they're enslaved by the Egyptians. And then the Pharaoh's upset that, these people are starting to grow bigger. Maybe they will rebel against us. Sounds kind of like Star Wars, huh? So he does Order 66. No, not really. But he goes and has people start killing all the male babies. So Moses' mother puts him in the little basket, puts him on the Nile River. And the rest of the story is he grows up in the Pharaoh's house as the son of Pharaoh's daughter, and helps save his people from slavery in Egypt. That's why he is the Prince of Egypt. So, that's my number 5. My number 4 kind of follows along the similar paths. My number 4 is the Ten Commandments. The reason it's down here is because it's a long movie. It's over 3 hours long. Yes, if you count the intermission, the little introduction and everything, it's almost 4 hours. But the reason this is here is because this is kind of telling the same story as that one. The story of Passover, where the Hebrews, where these 10 plagues happen to come across the land of Egypt. And the last plague, the death of the firstborn son. The Hebrews were saved because of the blood around their doors. This movie does a phenomenal job at showing you that, with a lot of practical effects. That's why it's my number 4. I suggest you guys check it out. Number 3. This is a really unusual one. People say it's kind of an Easter film, but it's kind of also a little bit more dramatic and a little bit more, whoa, really? Yes, it's Risen. Risen tells the story of a guard whose sole purpose is to make sure that the resurrection of Jesus is seen as a failure and is seen as a fake. That's the sole purpose of this movie, is that it takes place right then and there, and this Roman centurion does this type of thing. That's what this movie is, and it's a phenomenal movie at that. And his life and his family's life has changed as a result of what he finds out. Number 2 is probably one of the greatest Easter movies ever made. Because why? You can't have a great Easter without the greatest story ever told. This is a story of Jesus, who ends up his ministry on earth, and then goes into his death on the cross, his resurrection. Yes, he died and came back. So, it tells you that story. This is the greatest story ever told. This is when biblical epics in Hollywood were made and were held accountable to their source materials, to this and the Ten Commandments. The robe is another good one. Joshua, Joseph, David, Solomon and Bathsheba. Solomon and Bathsheba's one. Samson and Delilah is another one. But I see these are different. The Bible, AD. This is the realm of good Christian movies, right then and there, that tells the story of what you find in the Bible. And my number 1 takes the greatest story ever told one step further. And that, my friends, is Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ. Say what you will about this movie. You can't watch this movie without being moved. I know, growing up in the church myself. And I'm letting you guys in a little secret here. I'm a pastor too, so in seeing this movie, this is a good representation of what Jesus really went through. The type of beating they would give to prisoners. The torture they would put these guys through. Stuff like that. The nailing on the cross. I mean, you're talking train spikes about that big. Like, seriously. The pain, the agony, and the anguish that body took, and that man took, is a moving story. To the point that even all these years later, it's still being talked about. It's still, all that imagery from that movie is still used in churches this Sunday. And this is why it's number one, because it's a true representation of what Jesus went through in his entire life. In that last week of his life, I should say. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you find these 5 movies very fascinating, interesting, and want to watch them this Easter, or any Easter at that matter, or even during Passover. Do it. These are my 5 recommendations. And until next time, I'm the BINBUSTER, and happy Easter, happy Passover, and happy holidays to everyone out there. Bye.